Good afternoon, folks. How's everybody doing today? Well, we got another beautiful day. Tomorrow we're going to get some much needed rain, and we definitely need it badly. Today's project, you probably see the project in back of me here. This, if you look back on some of my older videos several years ago, I Mickey Moused the repair of this thing, and I had a piece of conduit coming down, screwed here with a clamp, and coming up to support this, because this tube here is almost ready to break off here from all the weight of the snow and everything in the past winters. This had gone right down and bent right down, almost straight down. So what I had done yesterday off camera is strip everything off, and it took me a couple hours to do it, and thousands and thousands and thousands of tiny black ants came out of here, and each one of these caps. These caps unscrew so that you can adjust the angle. Well, when I took all that out, thousands of ants come out of each side of this. So there's an ant's nest in here. This has been sitting here for, since just after I tore the screen house down, probably in, I don't know, 2011, 2012, I don't recall now. So the project for today is, I've got some 2x2s. Now, the reason I bought the 2x2s is because that's the only way I'm going to secure fabric to this. The original canvas had sewed in slots where these tubes can slide down and held the canvas on. Well, these rods come off. I just tape them back so they don't slide off again. So I can't do that without having the fabric, somebody sew in areas where I can slide these tubes in. And the fabric I got is right here. I got this at a place called Affordable Fabrics. Now, the girl told me that the vendor that delivered this over to them said that this is outdoor fabric, so you can use it outdoors. So I have their word, take their word about it. It's the only green that they had over there, so it's kind of like green with yellow markings on it. So what I got to do is I got to drill a hole here, one in the middle, and one here. Then from the back side, screw these in, and this will hold this piece of wood up here. Okay, and this wood will serve as a stapling area for the cloth that I got to put on here. But before I can even do that, on the side here there's going to be a sheet of galvanized sheet metal. It's going to have a cutout around like this. It's going to bend over the top of these bars here. It's going to be screwed in the corner. I've already got a hole drilled in there from the old stuff I had on here. There's a hole here. There'll be a bolt going through there to hold the galvanized to this. That will act as a support. The sheet metal will come down like this. Now, this is already tilted at an angle purposely because the sun in the afternoon is over here, so you want to keep the sun on your head, off your head I should say. So that sheet metal is going to come right straight across here, be secured to here and here, and then I'll put this piece of wood I just showed you here on the outside of that galvanized sheet metal right across. Then the big long piece, the 63-inch piece, when it goes here, will be fastened to the other piece over here, so the corners will be square instead of rounded. That's not a problem. And the same on this side. So before I can do anything with the wood, I have to make two identical end caps that I just described using galvanized sheet metal. It was on the original low profile gen house before I built the good one. So we're going to make two end caps out of this. And that's better than using plywood, because plywood will delaminate. So what I got to do first is make a cardboard template and then trace it out onto here. Now I got to allow for a bend over on the pipe, so you don't get no sharp edges when I'm putting the cloth on. In other words, the sheet metal will be fastened at this end and at this end where these holes are, so that will give us support to keep this thing from bending. But in addition to that, I need to bend over the sheet metal so it hugs this 180 degrees, at least halfway through. And here, I'll just come around so I can operate the knob. We'll just go around here and round off the edges of the piece that comes straight across here. It will not be fastened to here like I did with the conduit. If you look back on that old video, that was a Mickey Mouse throw together job, and I want to try to do this better. And I also want to be able to adjust this thing a little bit. This adjusts more. I just got to undo that one. So I want this to function to some extent. And using 2x2s, this isn't going to come down so low that you're going to bang your head into it, getting in and out of the swing. But it won't have this fabric hanging down like the original one. You know, this swing set is pretty well shot as far as the cushions are concerned, but it's out in the weather all the time. So I could probably redo these seats. It would be a Mickey Mouse way of doing it, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I just want to get this top done, because when you want to sit out here, you don't want the sun baking your back of the neck. All right, I'm making at least trying to make a template here. Now, I got to draw a line down here, and then I got to cut about an inch or inch and a half and actually cut it here so I can bend it over so it hooks onto this. In other words, I don't want to cut it to the end and just have the sharp metal sticking up like this. That's not going to work out. I want it rolled over, and on the bottom I want to fold over the metal so it's not a sharp edge here. So this whole thing can still tilt as designed. Well, I got some juggling around to do. This is not exactly where I want it yet, and unfortunately making a template for this, it don't fit on that. It's a different spacing there. I don't know why, but it is. Doesn't have to be that precise, but I would like to have one template made so that I don't have to make another template for this side, so I can cut both pieces out of the sheet metal, and it's going to just barely be enough too. 41.5 inches is all I got to work with, and it's even less this way. It's only about 33 inches there. So I got to work with what I got. That's what I got to do. But I got to get these metal pieces made up and put on there before I can do anything with the wood, because this is going to be the main support to keep this thing from bending again. Alright, I made a cardboard template, transferred it. Now this is the side facing the shed, or the left side as you're looking at the swing set. So we allowed for a fold over, which you can see right here, 3/4 inch. So that'll fold over the bar. The notch for the dial doesn't line up on the other one, so I'll have to. I got the angles. The angles are about the same, so I can cut two pieces of metal, but I'll have to modify this part on the second piece, which I hopefully can get out of here. Now what I got to do here is, after I cut this, I got to fold this edge over with my metal bender so that you don't get a sharp edge on it. I only need to fold about 1/4 of an inch. Now this is not an even cut because this was cut off of the old project I had. So if I draw a straight edge right across, as you can see, the middle has more in it. But that's not a problem, because that's going to be folded over to the inside. This is the inside of it. So it'll be folded this way and banged down. But that'll be done after I cut out this. Alright, I folded this over here so you don't get no sharp edges, and I folded this in here. Up here I want to round this off, and that's going to be very hard. I want to bang it over a piece of conduit or something so it's rounded like this, so it'll hook on to the top. And then there'll be a screw or two in here and here to hold it on the edges. Hopefully that'll be enough support for it. And the wood, this is the inside, of course, and the 2x2 will be fastened right to the outside of this, screwed to from the back like that, and then that'll stabilize that. 2x2 will be on the outside, of course, and the screws go in from the inside. All right, this is the original piece that one of them anyways, that was across the top in that Mickey Mouse job I did several years back. And we're going to use this, at least try to bend this over onto the inside, onto this conduit, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. We're going to try. We'll take some more measurements and then come back in the video in a minute. Well, for starters, I won't be able to bend this over onto this. I'm going to have to bend it with this and then try to round it onto it somehow. Longer piece of pipe, and the only thing I could probably do here is try to bring it over with a pair of pliers. Alright, I got a clamp down on the bench. Never really did anything like this before, so it's a first time for me. I just hope that I can get this to at least go on the pipe without causing any sharp edges to tear the cloth. A right-handed job for a left-handed guy. It's ridiculous. I had a smaller diameter conduit. I think this is 1/2 inch. I think they go by the inside diameter. Now, I gotta hold it and do it with my right hand. I'm not good with my right hand. Well, she's somewhat rounded. Got these at a yard sale. These are American made. I paid 50 cents for them. The guy I got it from, he don't take care of his tools. They're all rusty and everything. I got to spray some WD-40 in there. Anytime I see an American made tool, even if it's a simple pair of pliers, I always pick them up. Pretty soon we'll be getting some yard sailing in here. Once the weather stays good. It's going to rain tomorrow. We need it though. Now, this is not going to get done today. If I can get both of this metal made up and mounted, I'll be very happy. Not looking too shabby. The main thing is when I put the cloth over, there's no sharp edges. Now when I get this on the side of the swing set and screwed in, I can always tap that down around a little bit more onto the piping. Alright. I'll come back when I get done with this other side. You don't need to see that. Alright. I got to bend it over a little more, but it's kind of rounded. But I'm going to try to do the rest of the bending on the conduit of the swing set, because that's a little smaller than this. A little bigger maybe than 3/8. It might be like 7/16 outside diameter, I'm guessing. So we'll take you over there. Alright, we'll show you just. Alright, let me take you on the other side. Now, I don't have my magnifying glass with me, so I have no idea if I can see my hand moving here. Yeah, I think you're in camera. Anyways, what we got to do here is I got to bang this down as much as I can onto this pipe. And the same with the other side. And before I do that, I'm going to get a vice grip and put it down on here. I'll be back in a minute. Not around the thing like I wanted it to be, but it's enough that it won't cut into the cloth. I gotta get another vice grip over on this side. Yeah. Got a drill. I got a hole in here, so we got to drill and put a bolt in here. I'll come back in a minute here. Well, It's not a good job, but I got it down as much as I could here. It needed to be over more, but, and then it's bowed out to the, I'd have to push it in. This will all be covered with the fabric anyways, and the wood will be on the outside, as I said, going across the bottom, be screwed in through here, so that I can staple the fabric onto it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill and put a bolt through here. I'll do that off camera and show you afterwards when I'm all done with that side. All right, we got to put pop rivets in this. I got a screw in here and a screw in the other end, but it's not strong enough. So I got to put a pop rivet in here, and that's not going to be easy to do. But we'll try. Trying to keep it from, it's hard to get it started. That's a Home Depot 1/8" bit. Now, for the first time, I'm going to try my new Harbor Freight pop rivet gun. It's a big bastard. And we're going to bring it over here and see if we can pop rivet it. I bought this about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It was $20 and I got 20% coupon. And the reason I bought it is because the stainless steel pop rivets takes all I can do to use my regular pop rivet gun. Now these aren't stainless steel, but nevertheless, I want to try this out today. This is supposed to be an 1/8" pop rivet. That's what it says on the package. But not going in. We got to drill it a little more, I guess. I have that problem. It is an 1/8" bit that I use. I don't want to drill it too big because then it won't hold. I don't know why that won't go in there. It's got a collection thing in here. Yeah, it just fell in. Well, let's find out if it held. Now, it was a short rivet, so when I drilled, of course, I didn't go right through the pipe, just through the first side of it only. Well, that seems to be all right. I think we'll put one up here. We'll put one right. We'll put one right here. We'll do that off camera. These videos are too long. These are shorties, so there shouldn't be a problem with them going in. I drilled a third hole. Go in, but sometimes I gotta take the drill and run it through again. And we'll do this one on camera. Must be one in there. Yeah, that's why. Okay. All right. He's getting used to using this. I don't know. I don't like the way that rivet's sitting in there. Well, I guess she's in. Should be 3 rivets in there. That's what I drove. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. All right, we're going to do that same on this side here. And then we're ready to work on the other side. I may not get that done today on this particular segment of the video. Alright, I got 3 pop rivets here, and I got 4 here. This is the weak side. Well, got the other side here. I'm forming. I gotta do this bending thing over here. I've already made up the, I bent this down. I gotta do a little more hammering. Folded this over and folded that over, so you don't get no sharp edges on the bottom here. I'll have to do the pop rivet routine and everything over there. It's like a I'll have to do it here just like I did the other side. Alright, so we'll get this formed and come back on it afterwards. You don't need to see me do that again. Alright, this took a lot longer than I thought, and the ends didn't come out the way I wanted it. I wanted to have the metal to help support the wood coming this way. But we're going to just have to go nail into one piece or screw into one piece to the other. So we pop riveted here, and the way this is, I can still adjust this whole thing by loosening these. See, it's not fastened to here, which is what I was going to do originally. So we bolted here and pop riveted all the way up the line here. Alright, so now what I got to do is to cut in here and bang this over. Against my principles, I am going to have to put tape on these sharp edges. And that's what I had on the original Mickey Mouse arrangement. This thing isn't much better, but I'm going to have to do it. It's all going to be hidden with the cloth anyways, but these are sharp here and I can't do nothing with it, so we're going to have to just tape these corners up. And the wood goes over this anyways. Now this had gotten water in it apparently, and it's frozen in here. There's oil in there now because I sprayed WD-40 and this whole thing was loaded with all these tiny ants. And you see this sharpness sticking up here. I gotta bang that down. I'll do that off camera and tape up these corners, probably with electrical tape or something. And then I'll fasten one piece of wood under here, have it come out even with the piece that's going to go here, and we'll put a single screw in each end. So I'm going to do that, and that's going to be it, because it's probably about 5:30. I'm missing the 5 o'clock news. It's going to rain tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to do anything tomorrow, but it's only supposed to rain one day. So that's it for this segment of the video. And this will either be the end of part 1